Hey everybody, it's Dr. Kelly. Why won't people learn? The two most common reasons people will not learn. That's what we're going to be talking about today in episode number 41. Why won't people learn, and what do you need to do to make sure they're here with you right now? Let's get into it. Hey everybody, it's Dr. Kelly. I used to be a teacher in the toughest classrooms in the worst neighborhoods with the most difficult students. And what I learned there changed everything I thought I knew about content creation and delivery. Over the past 25 years, I've taught thousands of students, both in person and online. And what I can tell you is that effective online engagement is the hardest thing you'll ever do without guidance. So I've dedicated this channel to showing people exactly how to capture attention, hold engagement, and create transformation. Every single part of it. I love learning, I love teaching and making an impact, and that's all you're gonna find right here. Okay, so there's two main reasons that people will not learn. And this is crucial that you understand right off the bat, because you're gonna have both of these. You're gonna have people that are either angry. And when you think about this for a second, think about how much baggage comes along in an environment. And let's say you're running a class. Let's say you're doing a training. Let's say you're having a conversation with a loved one about, an issue that's coming up. But you've got a history. You've got this history that's not been, let's say, positive. You're already coming into a situation that's not going to go the way you want it to go because the recipient, your customer in this case, they're somewhere else. They're already coming in with anger. Now it's crucial that you understand when anger comes up, and you'll notice it because we already in episode 40 went through how you need to be here now with them. When it comes up, you need to know that anger is typically a result of somebody living in the past or a trigger that's gone off. And they're in the past. And if they're in the past, guess what? They're not with you now. If they're not with you now, they're not listening. So this is the first thing that will force people out of the room with you, as to say. Now, physically they may be there, but we're talking about mentally they're not there with you. They checked out. So you need to understand that when anger comes up in somebody, they're gone. The other reason that people will not learn is anxiety. So they're anxious. Now, people that are anxious are living in the future. So they're also not with you because they're out here somewhere else. They're thinking, what's coming next? Where's this going? What's going to happen? Am I going to know what's going on? And they've got all kinds of questions. So remember, when you're using engaged learning, the only way to make sure that this is going to go the way that is beneficial for both parties is to make sure both parties are in the room physically and mentally at the same time. So what do? How do we circumvent this? How do we break the cycle, break the switch, and get people out of the past or out of the future in here with you right now? Two super simple techniques. And dealing with anxiety, you're going to find really, really easy compared to dealing with anger. When you're dealing with anxiety, the anxiety-based customer, I'm always pulled in because I want to use student, but the truth is we're talking about customers in general. It doesn't matter whoever is the recipient, you are the one who's trying to direct the conversation in a way that's beneficial for both people. So the customer in this case, they need to have certainty about their future. They need to know what to expect. And that's why when we set up our learning principles, we always make sure that people know what to expect. They know all of our episodes are going to be really short, really concise, to the point. We're not going to yatter on for a long time. We want to have as much information as packed as we can right in a very short period of time so people know what to expect. So will your customers. Your customers will want to know, geez, when I'm booking this meeting, how long is it going to be? What is the possible outcomes? Where are we going with this? Is this going to be a sales call? What's the motive? What's the agenda? And the more things that you can answer for these people right off the bat, the more you can reduce anxiety. For example, if you were getting on the phone with me, I'm going to be anxious because I'm like, oh my God, is this going to be a 20-minute phone call, which I like, or is this going to be an hour phone call, which I despise? Right? You got it. You got to set it up. Let me know. Hey, doc, I need 20 minutes of your time. Awesome. Completely different response than I need 30 minutes. I need 40 minutes. Oh, already I'm checking out. You better be able to handle that because that's going to be what's coming up for me. And the same thing is going to happen to a variety of different things for all people that are living in anxiousness. So here's what you do. You set the expectations. Let them know what to expect. You're going to find that way reduces anxiety. But what about if we're dealing with somebody in the past? Somebody who's angry? Well, you know what you're going to do with anger is you need to reframe. You need to present information differently. And this is a whole nother one that we need to get into. But in the short and sweet of it, you're going to start doing that. The best way to circumvent, to break the cycle of anger is through stories. Start to use stories. Some of the best teachers I ever had in my whole life were storytellers as much as they were, or more so than they were teachers. And they would teach through story. And as soon as you walked into the class, it might start off with a joke. It might start off with an analogy. You know, learning is like collecting seashells. It's not one piece of information that you get. It's a whole bunch of little nuggets that you collect over time. Or learning is like climbing a mountain. It's not always easy, but when you get to the top, that's when you finally have mastered a certain subject area and you will feel stronger, more confident, more powerful than you've ever felt in your whole life because you conquered it, right? There's all kinds of different ways that you can twist, turn, create stories, analogies, metaphors about your information that will reduce or eliminate anger for people because it's different than what they had expected or what they've experienced in the past. Stories are a beautiful way to link a new environment to an old negative one and reframe the old one into a positive situation. So bring stories into whatever conversation you want when you're eliciting or trying to get change in your customers. That's it. I know that was a huge one, right? Ton of information in a very short period of time. We're talking about using stories and setting expectations in the past, and that will create a completely different learning environment for your customers. All right, guys, that's it. Episode 41. How do you deal with people that don't want to learn? Do it right. Have a great one. We'll see you in the next one.